Hey Pectus Warriors, it's Byrne from FixPectus.com, and in today's video what I wanted to talk about is dizziness and feeling faint and fatigue with Pectus Excavatum and what's going on there and the correlation between Pectus. To be honest, it's very common. It's very common to have Pectus Excavatum and then also experience dizziness and exercise-induced fatigue and, just fatigue in general and feeling lightheaded like you're going to faint with Pectus, okay? And there's a correlation there. Now, firstly, guys, I am a personal trainer. I'm not a doctor. And if you are experiencing symptoms like this, the first thing you should do is go to a doctor. Everybody with Pectus should go and get a scan of your chest and make sure you know that your heart and your lungs are okay, you don't have any other conditions going on, because Pectus is often correlated with other conditions. Now, sometimes those conditions are more mild. For example, in the last video, you saw me working out with Glenn. Well, he also has he has scoliosis with Pectus, very often correlated, but he also has mitral valve prolapse. And one of the symptoms of that is fatigue, dizziness. And in our workout, he got really dizzy and fatigued, okay? And, he felt like he was going to faint. He had to pause. And so this is really common with Pectus. I have so many of my clients, I've coached hundreds, thousands of people with Pectus now for the last 6 years of doing this. And one of the most common questions I get is, dude, I'm feeling so dizzy, I'm feeling so lightheaded, what do I do? And traditionally, my first response is, well, let's look at some basic fundamentals that aren't associated with Pectus. And if you are experiencing these symptoms, these should be the first bases you cover. Are you drinking enough water and hydrating enough? Because most people in general do not drink enough water. And if you're not drinking enough water, then you're going to feel dizzy, you're going to feel lightheaded. So that should be step one, is drink water, okay? You're probably not drinking enough water. So I have my drink bottle with me everywhere I go, and I'm just permanently drinking water, okay? So step two is also nutrition, making sure you're well fed, okay? Making sure you've had enough carbs, you've had enough fuel, you've had enough calories, okay? If you're low on calories, you're low on water, then you're going to start to feel fatigued, low on energy, dizzy, lightheaded. If your blood sugar gets too low, okay, you're going to start to feel that. And when you train, you're going to deplete your blood sugar levels, you're going to deplete glycogen. So for me, one of the other tips I tell my clients, other than making sure they're drinking during their training, is consume carbs during their training, okay? For me, I like to have like goji berries or cranberries or coconut water, okay? Some kind of carb source, and Powerade, Gatorade sometimes as well. Prefer the more natural ones, would recommend that more, but sometimes they give you a good hit of sugar. And when you're training, sugar is different when you're training and post-training to at other times. Your body's just going to soak that up because it's depleting your glycogen stores. So there's step ones, okay? The step one is making sure you're hydrated and well fed, okay? But then, if the symptoms persist, and anyway, you should be going and getting a scan, as I said before, then it could be related to something to do with your heart or lung function being compromised due to Pectus. Now, obviously, if you have Pectus, you have a hole in your chest, okay? And that hole in your chest is right where the heart and the lungs are positioned. And so this can result in a displacement of the heart, a deformity of the heart. Maybe it's smaller, it's displaced off to one side, something's going on with the valves. You could have mitral valve prolapse or any other. There's a myriad of different conditions that can be associated with this. Typically, these heart conditions or lung conditions that you may also have will result in dizziness, lightheadedness. They'll be common symptoms, okay? So you definitely want to get that checked. You definitely want to make sure you're hydrating. You want to make sure you're eating enough. And then the other tip I have is to improve your heart and lung function. And how we do that is by training, and training actually our cardiorespiratory system. So training long endurance, aerobic based training. It's something I've incorporated a lot more just to be a healthier, fitter human. My training initially when I started this channel was all bodybuilder focused. It was all about building muscle around the pectus to make it look less noticeable, which has a profound result. And it got me into health and fitness and wellness and exercise. But my training has evolved beyond that now for me personally, where I'm more interested in performance. I'm more interested in being stronger, fitter, and at the same time looking good. And so for me, I really prioritize aerobic training, and I'm actually going to be doing a triathlon soon, okay? Just to have some kind of goal towards that. And I've noticed a dramatical, actual measurable improvement in my heart and lung function. And what that is my respiratory rate has dropped. I track my sleep and all these things on a Whoop. and my respiratory rate and heart rate has dropped. My resting heart rate is about 10 beats per minute less than before I started all this. So I've had this work for about, and I had an Aura ring which also tracked it for about 2-3 years now. And in that time period, my heartbeat has dropped 10 beats per minute. So when your heart beats less per minute, it's because it's more efficient. It pumps more blood per beat, okay? And as a result of improving my cardio, what's happened is I feel better. I have more energy. I actually stay leaner. I still do all the resistance training. I don't track my macros anymore. I do recommend, if you're starting out, that that's something you should do. But I don't do that anymore. I just eat well and I fuel my body, and I actually have to eat, and I still stay lean. Okay, so there's a myriad of benefits of cardio. But going back to the topic and the title of this video, the dizziness and the feeling lightheaded, like you're going to faint, and low on energy, they're the tips. So we need to work cardio, we need to make sure we're hydrated, and we need to go get it checked to make sure we don't have just some underlying health condition that then needs to be monitored and taken care of on its own, okay, on top of the pectus, okay, because there's a likelihood, especially if you have more severe pectus, that you've got something else going on. So definitely book that appointment, get it checked. And I hope this video was helpful. If it was, give it a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe. The link is in the description for my coaching, fixpectus.com. I've got some client spots available, and if you want to fix your pectus, it's the tried and proven way to do it. You know, hundreds, thousands of client testimonials already. You know, I've been doing this for so long, and anyone who signs up, if they commit to the program, gets an amazing result. So link in description to apply. Thanks for watching. Peace.